What's going on, and welcome to the Lowe Down with Kevin Lowe. This is episode 121, and boy, is it a special one indeed. Question for you. Have you ever felt like your home, your life, yourself needs an update? It needs a makeover. If so, you're not alone. Because I love watching those shows called like Extreme Makeover Home Edition, where they go in and renovate somebody's house and turn it into something totally different. Now, obviously on TV, they're able to take it to extremes, whereas most of the time in our own life, it doesn't go quite as extreme as knocking down walls and putting in swimming pools and adding a third story. But instead, it's maybe changing up the paint color. Maybe it's getting some new living room furniture, changing out the old dingy carpet for some nice hardwood floors. It's an update. It's shiny. It's pretty. Yet it's still the same because, well, it's still your home. Well, folks, apparently we can add to that list of things that sometimes need a makeover, podcasts. Because this very podcast that you've come to know and love, the Lowe Down with Kevin Lowe, is having a makeover of its own. And today's episode is the transition episode. Because today we are transitioning from what was to what will be. Now, I've been teasing the last couple of weeks in the episodes that something big is coming. Well, folks, that time has arrived. Today's episode is being released on Friday, September 23rd, 2022. This coming weekend, some big things are going to be happening behind the scenes here on the podcast. And what's going to happen is Monday, another episode is going to be released, this time under a whole new brand. That's right, folks. The Lowe Down with Kevin Lowe is rebranding. I have decided that as much as I love this name, I've loved this brand, I finally decided that, you know what? It just doesn't fit the podcast like I want it to. Because a big part of a podcast growing is, of course, attracting new listeners. And as much as I love this name and everybody who hears it loves the name, it doesn't really speak to somebody who doesn't know the podcast already. If you came scrolling by and saw the name The Lowe Down with Kevin Lowe, you may think, whoa, that's a cool name, but you would have no idea what it was about. And chances are you probably wouldn't stop the scroll and click on it to check it out. So for that reason, I finally decided, you know what? Maybe it's time for a makeover. Now, going into this idea, at first I was a hard no on changing the name of the podcast. Because as I said, I love it. People love it. It's the Lowe Down. But then I thought, you know what? But what if I found another name that I love just as much? Then would it be okay? And that's what set me on a journey that I've been on behind the scenes of this podcast, trying to discover what could it become? Something else different than what it has been that I will love just as much, if not more. And at the same time, attracting more people to the show. And with that said, drum roll, please. The new name of the podcast is Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. Yep, 3 words, that's it. Grit, grace, and inspiration. But 3 powerful words indeed. Now, a lot of people, when they hear the name, they think, grit? Why would you put grit in the name? And I say, well, haven't you ever heard the term grit and grace? And at that point, they either say yes or no. So anyways, that is the name, Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. And I feel as though that truly sums up everything that I'm about and everything that this podcast has been about. It's about the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the good days and the bad, all with the idea to inspire you to never give up on life, to never let the hard days, the bad days stand in the way of you enjoying the good. So with that said, dependent upon when you are listening to today's episode, you'll either see it titled still The Lowe Down with Kevin Lowe, or it will already be transitioned over to Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. Either way, I want to welcome you to the dawn of a new beginning, because a new day has begun here on the podcast. Now, next week, starting on Monday, September 26th, is kicking off the launch event, or I guess we could say the relaunch of the podcast, because I'm excited about this new branding, this new idea for the show, and I hope you will be as well. Now, real quick, I did want to be sure that I cleared up any confusion. Nothing about this show that you've come to know and love, like me, the host, the guests that I have on, the content that I share, none of that is changing. No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not bringing on any less than amazing guests that I've had in the past. And the content is still meant to inspire you, empower you, motivate you, and excite you about life. With that cleared up, let's go into what's to come. Because as I said, next week is a big week here on the podcast. Monday, September 26th is the launch of Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. You'll be getting a podcast trailer episode dropped into your feed for those of you who are already following the podcast. And that will basically be a really short intro into Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. It's meant to be a thing that somebody who finds the podcast for the first time can listen to and get an idea of what it's all about. So that will hit your podcast feed on Monday. Tuesday is going to be the first official episode of Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. That will be episode 122. Again, same host, another incredible guest who I feel will be a true just asset to kicking off this new brand, because his story is incredible. The guy is just larger than life, and I think you're going to find great joy in listening to that conversation. Wednesday, I'm going to give you the day off, give you an extra day to catch up on Tuesday's episode before hitting you hard on Thursday with something new coming to the podcast, and that is a recorded live coaching call. Because when I'm not in the studio recording podcast episodes, I work as a life and business coach. And so I thought, you know what? Maybe this would be cool for those people who don't mind having a coaching call recorded. I can do a coaching call for them and have it broadcast to the world, in hopes that somebody will hear what they're going through and be able to relate. And so that's going to be launching on Thursday, followed up at the end of the week on Friday of next week. I believe that will be September 30th with another solo episode by yours truly. And that's what makes up next week's big relaunch event of Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. I can't say it enough, just what an honor it has been to have you on this journey with me. The podcast has come so far, and I honestly just can't wait to see where it goes from here. So I hope that you will continue to stay on this journey with me. If you're new here to the podcast, please be sure to hit that follow button on whichever app you are listening. And as always, check out the episode show notes of each and every episode, as that's where you can learn more, find my contact information, and get plugged in more ways than just your earbuds. All right, with that, I send you out into the world to enjoy your day and to get ready for a little grit, grace, and inspiration.